Welcome to the Hepatitis B Foundation's 30th anniversary, our virtual gala. We're Tim and Joan Block, two of the four co-founders of the Hepatitis B Foundation, and we want to thank you each for participating in tonight's event. I know this has been an extraordinary year for everybody, and we've all been tested in ways as never before. But things are looking up, and up is where we're going to be looking tonight. And yes, we're 30 years old today. I mentioned that. Not me, of course, and not Joan, but the Hepatitis B Foundation. So tonight, like other 30-year-olds, we're going to take a look at where we've been and where we've come. And we're going to say a little bit about where we're going. Okay, we were founded in 1991 by Jan and Paul Whitty and my wife Joan and I. But that story's on our website, so we're not going to talk about that too much tonight. I want to tell you about a few other things that happened in 1991 to put this in perspective. The World Wide Web was born. More on that in a moment. And appropriately enough, in 1991, the US FDA recommended universal infant vaccination for hepatitis B. More on that too. So that's 1991, and that's where we came into the picture. The hepatitis B was founded to help us find a cure for hepatitis B and the diseases that it causes, and to help people who are affected by hepatitis B. We had big ambitions, and I hope you agree that we have a few things to brag about. I mentioned the World Wide Web. Well, we made good use of it. Our homepage is one of the most visited sites in the world for information about hepatitis B, hepatitis D, and liver cancer. We get more than 3 million unique visits a year. Since 1991, also, we have directly communicated with more than 100,000 people seeking information about hepatitis B. With the organization APSHO, we formed the Hepatitis B United Group. This is a national coalition for hepatitis B, and have collectively screened more than 160,000 people for hepatitis B. Our advocacy has resulted in millions of dollars more for research at the NIH for hepatitis B, hepatitis D, and liver cancer, and at the CDC as well. By the way, you can ask Tony Fauci. We did, and he would agree. In 2003, we created a research organization now called the Baruch S. Blumberg Institute. It's one of the largest concentrations in the country for nonprofit scientists devoted to hepatitis B research. In 2006, we created the Pennsylvania Biotechnology Center. This is now one of the nation's leading life sciences incubators. We created it to be our home, and that is where we are now. Okay. These research organizations have been responsible, all or in part, for, one, identifying new strategies to treat hepatitis B, liver cancer, and hepatitis D. And, as a matter of fact, at least 4 drugs from our center have reached clinical trials. Another thing, almost every capsid inhibitor, that's a drug for hepatitis B, that's in clinical trials today, has its origin structurally in one of the Hepatitis B Foundation's drugs. Also, 3 cirrhosis and liver cancer diagnostic assays came from this place. Finally, we do a lot of teaching here too. We've provided research experiences and training for more than 100 high school students and more than 100 college students. So we remain the only national organization in the country dedicated solely to hepatitis B and liver cancer. So I hope you agree that we've had an outsized impact beneficially for people affected by hepatitis B and liver cancer. But tonight we party, and I hope all of you enjoy seeing many of the past Blumberg Prize recipients, which includes this year's winner of that other prize, the Nobel Prize in Medicine, Dr. Harvey Alter. We're also going to honor Dr. Wenwei Li, this year's Blumberg Prize recipient, and Ms. Nadine Sharoma, winner of our Community Commitment Award, and also Mr. Eric Friedgood, recipient for the Blake Foundation of our Milestone Achievement Award. So again, many thanks to you all for participating tonight, and many thanks to everyone at the Hepatitis B Foundation who worked so hard. But before all this happens, let's hear a word from Ms. Jean Holmes, our Vice President for Institutional Advancement.
Hi everyone, I'm Jean Holmes, Vice President of Institutional Advancement here at the Hepatitis B Foundation. And I am here with the one and only, the living, breathing, our liver mascot, Oliver. Hey! All right. Oliver Love, I love it. Okay, so I will see you a little bit later on tonight, but I also want to give you a few reminders right now. We have some exciting things that you can do tonight while you're listening to the program. So number one is our silent auction. If you go to hepbgala.org, HEPB, Gala, Gala.org, you can click on the auction link at the top and go to our silent auction area where we have a lot of really cool items this year. We have things like tickets to the ultimate racing experience. We have airline tickets. We have a couple wine packages. We have a PlayStation 5. I heard those are really hard to get. We have car detailing. So Oliver, if you get in the car, I'm sure you make a big mess. Somebody needs a car detail. We have a solo stove, which are really cool. Beautiful smokeless fire pits for your backyard. And all sorts of cool things. Things for your kids and things for jewelry and art and all kinds of really neat items. So the second thing I want to tell you about is our online raffle. So you can go on to hepbgala.org again and click on the Donate Here button. And the first item on there, Oliver, will take you to the raffle for $10 each. You can enter to win a pair of Apple AirPod Pros. Very cool, right? For both the auction and the raffle, you have to do that by 12 noon tomorrow, Eastern Standard Time. So I know some of you are on the West Coast, so make a note of that. You'll have to get up early. Okay, we have one last item that I want to tell you about, which is our text-to-give option. Some of us like to do things on our phones all the time. I know Oliver likes to do everything on his phone. So you can text HEP-B to 267-459-4990 and give directly right through there on your phone. Very easy. I know this has been a hard year. Oliver, it's been a hard year. So, if you're not in a position to give right now, that's okay. For those of us that can, we will. But if it's not a good time for you to give, that's totally okay. And we'll be back later. We'll let you know about our fundraising goal of $130,000 tonight. Well, I think we're over 3/4 of the way there. So we're going to hit this goal tonight, by hook or by crook, right? Okay, so I will be back later with that information. But right now, I want to introduce you back to my incredible colleague, Dr. Shari Cohen. She is going to talk about our mission and the critical work that our public health team does here. Thank you so much.
Good evening. I'm Shari Cohen, Senior Vice President of the Hepatitis B Foundation. Thank you for joining us for our 30th anniversary gala. The world has changed a lot over the past years, from changes in technology and global communication to changes in climate, even a global pandemic. The one thing that hasn't changed is our commitment to our mission. From January 1991, when our 4 co-founders chose to dedicate themselves to finding a cure and improving the lives of all those living with hepatitis B, to today, we remain a small but mighty group, true to our mission and proud of the progress we have made. Our public health and education programs help tens of thousands of people each year get vaccinated, tested, and into care. The research at the Blumberg Institute continues to make life-changing scientific discoveries. And through our patient helpline, we provide support to over 10,000 people from around the world each year. Nothing is better than hearing about the impact we have had on someone's life. Like the gentleman from Pakistan who told us, "I haven't found the words to express you. My thanks for supporting me, for your information and your help in saving my life. I am so grateful and happy that I found you." The Hepatitis B Foundation represents the voices of almost 300 million people living with hepatitis B worldwide. We are listening, documenting what people with hepatitis B face on a daily basis, from physical and emotional challenges to stigma and discrimination. And we are working with people who have hepatitis B to raise their voices and engage with global leaders to make sure that their stories are heard. We will not stop until every voice is heard. We will not stop until every person with hepatitis B is tested and accessing medical care and treatment. We will not stop until there is a cure. As we commemorate our 30th anniversary, I offer heartfelt thanks to our founders, board of directors, and medical and scientific advisory boards, to our academic, clinical, scientific, and public health partners, to our patient storytellers and our volunteers, to our generous supporters, and most of all, to our dedicated team. It is an honor and a privilege to work alongside you and to celebrate 30 years together. Now, I would like to pass it back to Dr. Block to confer this year's Blumberg Prize.
It's now my honor to present the Baruch S. Blumberg Prize. The Baruch S. Blumberg Prize is awarded to an individual or individuals considered to have made the most important transformational contribution to advancing the Hepatitis B Foundation's mission of finding a cure and improving the lives of those affected by hepatitis B. The award is usually given to a scientist or physician, and they're chosen by past Blumberg Prize and distinguished scientist recipients. It's intended to be our way of recognizing great science, medicine, and public health leaders, and to show the appreciation of the community. This year's recipient is Professor Wenwei Li from the National Institute of Biological Sciences in Beijing, China. The entire hepatitis B community owes a great deal of appreciation to Dr. Li's tremendous scientific advance. It's a bit technical, but Dr. Li and his colleagues identified the receptor for the hepatitis B virus. That's the protein that mediates the entry of hepatitis B into hepatocytes, into liver cells. It's how hepatitis B gets into the liver. No receptor, no interferon, no infection. This was a question and a puzzle that challenged scientists for decades. Many, many labs and scientists have been trying to find the answer to this. And knowing what the receptor is, in addition to being beautiful science, has also allowed for the development of systems for the study of hepatitis B, and very, very importantly, rational development of new drugs to treat hepatitis B. And as a matter of fact, Mercledex B, which was recently approved for treating hepatitis D in Europe, works by inhibiting this receptor. But Dr. Li isn't just a one receptor guy. I want to point this out too, because it's pretty relevant. He and his colleagues also discovered the SARS coronavirus receptor. So you see, he has quite a track record of discovery. And I know he makes discovering these receptors look easy, but it's not. This has eluded many, many labs. So the discovery of the hepatitis B virus receptor and the SARS receptor are simply among the most important scientific advances of the past decade or more. Baruch Blumberg won the Nobel Prize for his discovery of hepatitis B virus. And he was an inspirational and an extraordinary scientist. And we give these awards in his name, consistent with that great science that he and his colleagues in the discovery of hepatitis B made. So it's with this understanding in mind that the board of the Hepatitis B Foundation and the past recipients of the Blumberg Prize confer the Baruch S. Blumberg Prize and Medal to Dr. Wenwei Li of Beijing, China. Dr. Li?
I'm deeply honored and humbled by the recognition of Blumberg Prize. I wish to express my heartfelt appreciation to the Blumberg Prize Selection Committee and the HBV Foundation. I wish I could be in Philadelphia and receive the prize in person, but I cannot wait for my prize till international travel comes back to normal. So I have to thank you all through the internet. I'm thrilled to share the award with my family and friends. This distinct honor also goes to my colleagues and students working with me. It would not be possible for me to make the discovery without their contributions. I also want to take this opportunity to express my gratitude to my institute, NIPS, my mentors, and the many pioneers in the HBV field. To me, HBV is a fascinating virus. It has well adapted to human beings. It is the receptor opens the door for HBV infection. We know HBV is also a difficult virus to deal with. It preserves its genome in host nucleus and undergoes continuous infection in the liver, even under the most potent drug treatment. Our discovery of NTCP as the key receptor is only a beginning of new research. I believe there will be many new exciting findings yet to come. We'll find a cure for HBV and eventually eliminate the infection. I look forward to working together with you all toward that goal. Thank you.
In 1997, the Hepatitis B Foundation began the tradition of recognizing great science and great scientists and their contributions with an annual award. Initially, it was called the Distinguished Scientist Award, but tonight we're rededicating all Distinguished Scientist Awards to be named the Baruch S. Blumberg Prize. That's in honor of Baruch S. Blumberg, our co-founder, who won the Nobel Prize for discovery of hepatitis B. We put together a really, I think, terrific little video of past recipients. So now you're going to see a number of the past recipients of the Distinguished Scientist Award receiving their Blumberg prizes. And so let's take a look. And I'm pleased that Wenwei Li has joined them now. I just want to say, on behalf of the Hepatitis B Foundation, how grateful we are that all of you could join us tonight. I was trying to gather some pithy comments, and all the cleverness kind of eludes me, particularly with Harvey Alter there, who I won't even try to be poetic because a lot of people think he should have won the Nobel Prize for literature. But I just want to express the gratitude on behalf of the Hepatitis B Foundation and all the people that we serve for the work, the body of work you have all done, and also for your continued support and interest in the Hepatitis B Foundation.
As chairman of the board, I'd like to thank you on behalf of all the board members for your dedication to a cause that I have obviously adopted to my heart, and for all the contributions you've made. Contributions we celebrated deservedly in the past and are celebrating again tonight. As a parent of a child with hepatitis B, I also want to thank you on behalf of all the children, all the parents, and all the patients around the world for the efforts you've made on behalf of finding a cure for this disease.
When I received this award in 1997, Barry, my good friend and colleague, was alive. I miss him dearly for a whole host of reasons, including walking together, discussing science, and laughing at the bureaucracy that governed, or tried to, so much of our lives. But I know tonight that Barry would have wanted me to acknowledge Tim and Joan Block for their amazing and inspirational work for the Hepatitis B Foundation.
Thanking Tim and Joan and of course Dr. Blumberg for founding and building the incredible Hepatitis B Foundation, which is by far the leading private organization in the world to promote awareness and research for hepatitis B.
I was lucky to have been at the Institute for Cancer Research because that's where Barry Blumberg was.
Well, if you want to study something simple, you will switch. If you want to study something challenging, you will stick with hepatitis B.
Barry was a very important influence in my life, as was Tom London, who was also at NIH when I first got there. Tom and I and Barry and I developed a lifelong friendship, mutual respect, and I'm so sorry that neither one of them can be here tonight.
We're very thankful for all the people who developed drugs. They're always forgotten in the mix. But we also thank the MDs for taking these drugs and moving them forward in the clinic towards success as if it was their baby.
The foundation has benefited from some great people, the help from some remarkable people in the past. And now we're going to take a moment to see their names. But first, this year, Paul Whitty, our co-founder, passed, and Joan has a few words to say.
I'd like to make a special acknowledgement for Paul's passing. He was an important part of the creation of the foundation. It was he and Jan who actually responded to our personal story, being affected by hepatitis B. And really, Paul was a bigger-than-life character. He had a huge heart. He was a humanitarian. He was a philanthropist. And without his spirit, the foundation wouldn't have existed. And, you know, we want to just say thank you, Paul. And wherever you are, we hope you're smiling on us. Thank you.
At 30 years is a pretty good time to take a look back. And we'd like to show you what we saw. So Lanny Morganese helped us put together a video that goes through some of the highlights of the past 30 years and interviews some of the people that have been pretty involved in the foundation, including me. Take a look.
When I think about 30 years, I think, I can't believe how the time has flown. It's both amazing to have reached 30 years, but also, as a co-founder, I still feel like we have so much more to do.
I mean, my gosh, what a renaissance. We created this place. This is a unique place we created. I don't know that it exists anywhere else in the world.
What I've said in the past is that in some ways it's a love story, because I married Tim, who's a virologist. When I was diagnosed with chronic hepatitis B, instead of panicking, he decided to change his whole focus of research to search for a cure for hepatitis B. And he went to our friends Paul and Jan Whitty, who are local, well-known humanitarians and philanthropists, and was sharing this story with them. And they immediately said, we have to do something.
In the very early days, the Whittys were really supportive and instrumental financially and, with hard work. They're a big part of how the foundation started to get some legs under it.
The virus had been discovered by Baruch Blumberg and his colleagues. And Blumberg and his colleagues made a vaccine, so it was preventable. There were no therapies, that's for sure.
At that time, hepatitis B was treated like HIV. I lost my job. My child was kicked out of daycare. The hospital was trying to figure out what to do with me because they had no policies.
When we first started, there was very, very low awareness about hepatitis B. People didn't know anything about Hep B. There was no education happening. There was no policy focus or advocacy. And we didn't have any FDA-approved drugs.
And then there's a lot of fear. Am I going to die young? What do I tell my family members? How can I still work? Or if I want to can I become a nurse? Can I travel? Can I get a travel visa? Can I get a work visa? I mean, these are real issues. In a lot of countries, you cannot work. You cannot get a visa to that country if you have hepatitis B.
Initially, we started, as just a virtual organization, got a phone number, took telephone calls from other individuals, patients usually, who were interested.
Somehow it was amazing that patients found us. When we put up our website in 1995, it literally opened us up to the world.
Our mission at the Hepatitis B Foundation is, one, to find a cure for hepatitis B, but also to improve the life of all those living with hepatitis B worldwide. So almost 300 million people who we feel responsible for, helping them find access to care and treatment, helping them feel better about living with hepatitis B and live longer.
I went to work with Baruch Blumberg, the Nobel laureate. I went to him and asked him early on, even before there was a foundation, would you help us? And of course, he was extremely supportive. And he was so nice and so humble.
The reason I got involved with the Hepatitis B Foundation was because it had the promise, when it first got started, of being an important center for hepatitis B research.
The mission has always been the same. So when we started, we were ambitious because our goal was to cure hepatitis B.
Living with chronic hepatitis B is like living with a time bomb. You never know when the disease is going to result in liver cancer, liver failure.
I saw a statistic today, less than 1% of the people in the world who have chronic hepatitis B are treated, and a little bit more than that are followed by screening. This is a terrible disease if it's not managed, and it's absolutely preventable. If you have chronic hepatitis B, now you can be screened, and the cancer can be monitored, and you can be treated.
For 10 years, we held a patient conference. What we learned from that was the amount of discrimination that was occurring.
We received a phone call from a woman who had just given birth a few days before. And this was a woman in the US who has chronic hepatitis B. When she was leaving the hospital, the nurse said to her, because you have hepatitis B, you can't go near your baby. You can't touch your child, you can't feed your child, and you can't hug or kiss your child. And so she called us in a state of despair. You can't transmit hepatitis B casually. There was no reason why she couldn't love and hold and cuddle and kiss and feed and take care of her baby. And so we talked her through it. And at the end of the conversation, she was a different person.
In 2001, my wife and I adopted our son from the Ukraine. Upon getting back to the United States, we discovered that he tested positive for hepatitis B. We started looking for resources to help us understand the disease. And my wife actually found the Hepatitis B Foundation online and had someone call me from the foundation, a very nice woman, to talk me off the ledge about my concerns. We're lucky we had a good ending to our story, but there are plenty of people that don't have a good ending. And that's why I stayed involved. And we're working towards finding a drug to cure this disease.
The growth of the Hepatitis B Foundation over the past 30 years into a dynamic global organization serving the 300 million people around the world living with hepatitis B, as well as their families, their healthcare providers, and society at large, is an amazing success story.
The Hepatitis B Foundation has been instrumental in making hepatitis B part of the conversation, nationally and globally. We have been instrumental in prioritizing hepatitis B at the federal level, putting together a grassroots advocacy network of thousands of people to help make sure that there's enough money to address hepatitis B at the public health and at the clinical research level.
We've played a role in moving some companies to researching hepatitis B. We've played probably the decisive role in legislation involving anti-discrimination against hepatitis B.
On one of the first World Hepatitis Days, we were invited to the White House, and it was incredibly memorable to me. For the first time, the White House was recognizing hepatitis B as an urgent public health priority.
Then, of course, there's the creation of our research institute, now called the Baruch S. Blumberg Institute. The finest minds in the world have come to our center to start new companies.
I listen to the scientists, and the scientists are optimistic that we will have a functional cure for hepatitis B within the next 5 to 10 years. If they're optimistic, I'm optimistic.
The future for the Hepatitis B Foundation is to make sure the following, that we greatly increase the number of people who are screened for liver disease, greatly increase the number of people who are treated, and make sure that there is another wave of hepatitis B and liver cancer therapeutics in 5 years.
the prize, the ring you want to grab at the end of the day is the complete cure for the disease, for hepatitis B.
Our success is due to the quality and the commitment of the people who are working with us. They chose to work with us, and we could not have achieved as much as we have in the past 30 years without the real dedication and commitment of these people, and of course the donors.
Individual donors are probably the most critical people that we have. It is one of the most important sources of funds for us. We really want to thank all of our supporters and our donors. We couldn't do it without them.
I hope people give to the Hepatitis B Foundation and the Blumberg Institute because they believe in us. They know that what we're doing for people with chronic hepatitis B and liver cancer is almost unique, that we've proven our track record, and that we're the best hope for a nonprofit organization to reach people with chronic hepatitis B. We're the best hope there is. I walk into the lab every day and I see this 3-building, 120,000 square foot complex with 200 scientists and outreach professionals working, and they're here because we did this. It's quite overwhelming.
If we want to eliminate hepatitis B and we want to save lives, then people need to demand action. If we could get every one of those 300 million people who have Hep B, if they shared a little bit of their voice, can you imagine the difference we would make?
It's now my great honor to present the Hepatitis B Foundation's Milestone Achievement Award to Eric Friedgood. When a milestone happens, it's important that it be recognized. Well, the Carol and Edmund Blake Foundation passed a major milestone for the Hepatitis B Foundation and Blumberg Institute this year, having given us more than $1 million over the past 4 years. And all of this is due to the confidence in us shown by Mr. Eric Friedgood and Mr. David Kim, trustees of the Blake Foundation. This all began with an introduction made by our emeritus board member, Alan Brownstein, who has been a wise mentor to the foundation and me for more than 20 years. Mr. Friedgood, who is a gifted and successful fund manager, and the Blake Foundation care deeply about hepatitis B and liver cancer. And they're committed to doing something about it. And we'll hear from Mr. Friedgood in a moment. But they like to make good investments, and we are humbled and honored by their confidence, and we feel a great obligation to provide a good return on their investment. They believed in us, and with their support, we've been able to make sure the NIH and Centers for Disease Control keep hepatitis B and liver cancer a priority. Our labs, with their support, have been able to recruit new scientists and develop an entirely new strategy to treat hepatitis B. These are certainly things that would have been impossible to do without their support. So thank you, Mr. Friedgood and Mr. Kim, and thank you, Blake Foundation, for choosing to make such a big difference with us. Congratulations, and on behalf of the Hepatitis B Foundation and its Baruch S. Blumberg Institute.
Thank you, Tim. We are so happy that the Hepatitis B Foundation has done such extraordinary work in both science and advocacy over the years to warrant the Carol and Edmund Blake Foundation's continued and proud support. We should be the ones honoring you. The Carol and Edmund Blake Foundation has had a dual goal of funding programs in medical research and education. While many of these programs are specifically targeted, our overarching theme is to ensure that funds are both well spent and have specific attainable goals. This was extraordinarily clear in my first meeting with Tim and Joan Block and other members of the Hepatitis B Foundation, that they would be excellent stewards of the grants and the goals. Normally, when organizations make grant requests, it is usually under the auspices of long-term partnership goals and with perpetuity in mind. When I was first introduced to Hepatitis B Foundation, it was in a meeting with Alan Brownstein, who very clearly said to me, "Our goal with your help, Eric, is to be out of business in the next 5 to 10 years. The idea being, of course, that we find such success in obtaining a cure that there is simply nothing left for anyone to do. I am hopeful that we are close to this goal, but even if we aren't, I, alongside the trustees of the Carol and Edmund Blake Foundation, are thrilled to have partnered with the Hepatitis B Foundation and look forward to going out of business and helping the lives of nearly 300 million people who actively suffer with the disease. Thank you again, and best of luck to everyone.
On behalf of the Hepatitis B Foundation, I am honored to confer the 2021 Community Commitment Award to an outstanding volunteer who has truly made a difference in the lives of those affected by hepatitis B. For over a decade, Nadine Sharoma has dedicated herself to advocating on behalf of people who are facing discrimination because of their hepatitis B. In 2010, Nadine was part of a committed leadership team that helped to define hepatitis B as a protected condition under the Americans with Disabilities Act, along with Joan Block, co-founder and former executive director of the Hepatitis B Foundation, and Susanna Lorenzo Jaguar, an attorney at the Department of Justice. Their work centered around 3 young people whose medical school acceptances were rescinded when they found out that they had hepatitis B. Nadine dedicated countless hours seeking out information and resources and coordinating the action plan to challenge the school's discriminatory policies. As a volunteer policy advisor to the Hepatitis B Foundation since then, Nadine has continued her work, even throughout the pandemic and while caring for her family. Since 2013, Nadine has expanded her advocacy work to help those facing discrimination within the U.S. military. Nadine has worked with dozens of service members forced to end their military careers because of hepatitis B, and she continues her legislative advocacy to help change these discriminatory practices for the future. Through a social justice lens, Nadine has also worked hard to end health disparities for Asian American and Pacific Islander communities. In her home state of Washington, she partners with community leaders and organizations to educate state lawmakers about hepatitis B and to ensure that Washington has a coordinated and funded hepatitis B elimination plan. After a successful career in administrative and systems development, Nadine has dedicated herself to community-based civic engagement and racial justice projects. We are very lucky to have her as a partner and advocacy leader. It is my pleasure to present the 2021 Community Commitment Award to Nadine Sharoma. Nadine could not be with us tonight, so I happily accept this award on her behalf and send her big hugs from all of us here at HBF.
So it's been 30 years. And as Dr. Sherry Cohen said before, the Hepatitis B Foundation has never wavered from its commitment to helping people with hepatitis B and liver cancer. We've been very consistent. And I hope we've convinced you that we've been able to accomplish quite a bit. But we know that there is much more that needs to be done. We want to eliminate hepatitis B. You know that. The World Health Organization has called for that. That's our goal. We also want to eliminate discrimination against people with hepatitis B. And we want to link everybody with hepatitis B and liver cancer to the care they need. Oh, and although there are great drugs on the horizon for hepatitis B, a cure for hepatitis B and liver cancer isn't here yet. But we at the Foundation and the Blumberg, we still have more tricks up our sleeve. And I want to say here today, we expect to be introducing new strategies for the treatment of hepatitis B within the next 12 months. We have much more to do. And we're going to be doing all of this from within our new building, a new 38,000 square foot laboratory and instructional space that is being built on this campus, the one I'm at now, 14.5 acres, owned by the Hepatitis B Foundation in Doylestown, Pennsylvania. So this has been there's a lot to celebrate, no question about that, but we recognize that there's much more to be done. And I want to thank everybody here who's been helping us achieve this. Without your help, this would not be possible.
I am very pleased to turn it over to my colleague and friend, Jean Holmes, Vice President of Institutional Advancement, who will be leading our call to action.
Thank you, Shari. And thanks again to all of our award winners who keep pushing everything forward, right, Oliver? We've heard a lot today about all the people that have helped to get us where we are today, really at a tipping point. Many of you listening tonight are part of that very special group of people that have helped us get to 30. I want to recognize a couple other folks that mean a lot to me personally. Sorry, I hit my lavalier, sorry. I wanted to thank Catherine Williams, our vice president of the board. She means a lot to me personally, and she's just a super human being and has done so much for Hep B. I also want to thank another mentor of mine, Alan Brownstein, who is a board emeritus member and again has just done so much for the Hep B Foundation over decades, really. I want to thank Bob Gish, our incredible medical director, who seems to be in 100 places at a time. So thank you to you, Dr. Gish. I hope you're on tonight. We love you. And I also want to thank the members of our monthly giving club, the Champions Club. I hope tons of you are on tonight. You guys really help make everything happen here around the world tonight, okay? So now we are going to get you involved. It's time for this is your chance to get involved in the 30th anniversary gala. Okay, this is exciting. Yeah, Oliver. Tim and Joan Block are here with me, the amazing Sherry Cohen you've heard from, and of course Oliver. We're all fully vaccinated, by the way, and we're all very comfortable being with each other, so we're being safe, don't worry. How do you vaccinate a gigantic liver? I really don't know. So this is the Mission Moment live ask portion of the evening. Very exciting. I encourage you to open your heart and give generously. So here's how it's going to work. Step 1, get your phone ready. Okay. Step 2, get your credit card ready. I've got mine. Step number 3, listen for the amount that makes your heart happy. And then pick up your phone and credit card. And then step 4, you are going to listen for your name because you are a Hep B hero. Okay, so here's how it's going to work. The easiest way to give, yeah, Oliver's got the right idea here. The easiest way to give is through text, to text Hep B, which is on the screen, HEPB, to 267-459-4990. It's up on the screen. We'll be up there this whole time. The other way to give is on our website, hepbgala.org. So you'll click on the donate button in the very top part of the top right part of the website. That should open up a new tab, so you shouldn't have to worry about losing the live feed. And you wouldn't want to do that because Oliver and I are really cute, right, buddy? Yeah, fist bump. Okay. And lastly, if you want to call my colleague Leah, she can be reached if you want to give over the phone at 215-489-4900. But really the best way to give is through the texting option. I encourage you to use that. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to call out an amount, and then I'm going to wait. I'm going to stare into the camera and wait for you to give. So I know it takes a little time to text and to go on the website and do your thing. So I have a little team of elves behind me that are on computers and phones. Where are they, Oliver? And they're going to help me, and they're going to be texting me and holding up signs so that I can recognize you and call out your name. So this is very exciting. And don't worry, we're going to have an amount that's comfortable for everybody, Oliver. So even you, okay? So everybody will have an opportunity to give tonight. And at the end, we're just going to do it. It's going to be like a crazy free-for-all. It's going to be fun. So I'm going to tell you amazing things, too, that will inspire you to open your hearts and be as generous as you can, because it's all about the love, right, Oliver? Yeah. Okay. Real quick, I want to know where we are right now and how much we have to go. I think we are at, so our goal is 130,000. We're going to blow this out of the water tonight. We're already at $120,000, Oliver. That's crazy. Okay. All right. So we need to raise at least $10,000. And I say at least because I want to break that record tonight. And we're going to start at, here we go, folks. Are you ready? You ready to text? We're going to start at $2,500. Okay. So here we go. There's so much that we can do here. We are an extremely efficient organization. Seriously, Oliver looks a little clumsy, but I'm sorry. You would be surprised at how much Oliver can get done in one day. It's amazing. So we are a very efficient organization. With $2,500, we can do a lot. So We can do a lot of education and outreach. We can keep our drug watch page updated. We can prepare blog posts and update our website, which gets about 4 million hits a year, by the way. Okay, so we got some, my buddy Ed over here is holding up a sign that says, Mark Petty. Love you, Mark. You're the best. Mark Petty is in at $2,500 to get us rolling tonight. So, yeah, $10,000 is going to be easy peasy, right? Okay, so, we got another, Wayne Yetter. Wayne Yetter in the house. All right, now we're really rolling. We got $5,000 without blinking an eye, right? And Sue Wong. Sue Wong, woo! Hey, yeah. All right, so $7,500 off the bat. I'm checking my phone. Let's see. So don't worry, if I move on to another amount, you can go back to a big amount if you want, or a bigger amount. I know it takes a little time to get your little fingers going on the keyboard. So don't feel free to blow me away if you want to make a bigger gift. So I'll be checking my phone. Don't worry. I'm not looking on Facebook and checking memes. I am looking for what the little elves are sending me. Okay, so that's incredible. We're off to a great start. We're going to go next to our next level down, which is $2,000. What can you do with $2,000? Okay, get your phone out, make a gift, text HEPB 267-459-4990. Remember, you can fund critical programs that we run here. Shari's public health team, they're awesome. They're not just really efficient and intelligent like, myself and Oliver, but they're also just really a fun group. And, who we got here? Kate, Catherine, Michaela, Rhea, Michaela. Did I say Michaela twice? Evangeline, Beatrice. Yeah, she's twice as good. Yasmin. Who am I missing? Anybody? Did I miss anybody? Shari? Maureen. How could you miss Maureen? Leah. Oh, my gosh. Ed, our communications director. All right, so all these thing, another amazing thing that this team takes care of is our hepb.org website. Did you know, Oliver, did you know that the website is offered in 14 languages? Yeah, neither did I. I did know. Wow. So if you speak Mongolian, you can go onto our website and read Mongolian about hepatitis B. So at 1,500, we have got some gifts. We've got one gift, Ann Heacock. Ann Heacock, you are the best. Woo! Okay. We also, on our website, I'm just telling you things that you can fund. Another thing on our website that we have is a Know Your Rights section. If you don't behave, Oliver, I'm going to read you your rights, okay? You should see the Just Be Storytelling section on our website. There are dozens of short videos of people giving their Hep B story. It's another great resource to educate the public and empower people living with hepatitis B. Okay, so we're going to keep moving. And I want to thank everybody that's given so far. If you're still typing furiously to get your gift in, don't worry. If I move on to the next section, I will come back and recognize you, so don't worry. We're going to take donations now at the $1,000 level. Type it in. Oliver, I have a feeling this is going to be a good amount. What do you think? So I think, you could fund, I'm sorry, what could you fund at the $1,000 level? Tim Block. There he goes. Come here, Tim. Tim is pledging $1,000 right now. That's the boss, man. He knows where it's at. All right. So we've already got one donor in at $1,000. We've got Walter Sue in for $1,000. Excellent. This is great. What else can I tell you about here? I mentioned the amazing public health team, but I also have to tell you about my incredible team. Sorry, I keep doing that. I have to tell you about my team. So Susanna, who's over there furiously looking at things on the computer right now, Montana, and the incredible Megan Pierce. She is running this whole shebang. So what would we do without Megan? We wouldn't. And of course, we can't forget our admin staff. We got the people who actually make this place go, right? So you can't do things without an admin staff. And Patty and Loretta and Judy and Debbie and Diana and Conrad and David and Ray and Tammy and Mark and Nancy. It's not a huge group. That, all those names I mentioned, like I said, we're very efficient, but we got another $1,000 in from the Williams and Moyer families. Woo! Excellent. Okay, folks, we are going to keep going, and let's see. I want to know, can we get a back of the napkin amount? And let's see, we have the thermometer up. I can't read it because I don't have my glasses on. Ed, where are we? Do we know?
123,921.
Oh, I think we're beyond that. I think that's a low ball. Okay, so we're going to go down to the $500 level now. Actually, no, I'm sorry. We're going to go do $750. It's not quite $1,000. It's more than $500. Why not? So anybody at the $750 level can jump in now. And you know what $750 could fund? That could help us pay for about 60 helpline consults. Did you know that? I think Sherry mentioned this service. If she didn't, she should have. But the helpline service is, over the last 30 years, the Hep B Foundation has helped over 100,000 people who have had questions about hepatitis B. That's incredible. So jump in right here at $750 and help us get those questions answered. Information is power, right? All right. So I'm tap dancing here, but I think we're going to move on to the $500 level. No? Oh, hold on. We got more. Okay, so we've got Joel Rosen at $1,000. Woo! That's better than $750, from what I'm told. So we got Joel Rosen. He's a great guy. I know Joel personally. Do you? Yeah, he's the bomb. All right, thank you, Joel. You're the best. Oh, and look, another block. Chip off the old block. Peter Block is giving $1,000 tonight. Amazing. That is incredible. Okay, well, let's keep it going. We're going to go down to the $500 level now, kids. And thank you to everyone so far that's given. Remember, you can either text to give at Hep B 267-459-4990 or on the website. Click the donate button at the top right, and that'll take you in there to where you can get a gift in. And let's see. Oh, I have my first $500 gift already. Lauren Danzis. Nicely done, Lauren. Thank you so much, sir. We know Lauren, too. He's a great guy as well. Give from the heart as much as you can, and we're going to blow this goal out of the water tonight and make sure that Sherry and her team have all the resources they need to blow hepatitis B out of the water, okay?
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Sherry. You may ask, Jean, what if I want to give $250? What if I did one? What do you think that would fund? Oliver, do you know? You don't know. That would help us fund the screening of 4 people. So, you know what? I want to save the lives potentially of 4 people, so I'm going to give at $250. Woohoo! Yeah, for me. Yeah, okay. So, hepatitis B is a silent disease. So screening is a way to save people from, going years and decades without knowing that they have the disease. So screening is really critical. $250 will get you to potentially screen save 4 people. So we've got, oh, here we go. We've got Lou Casa in at $500. Excellent. And we've also got John and Phyllis Taylor in at $500. Excellent. This is fun, you guys. This is really fun. Okay, we're going to move on. But like I said, you want to come back to an amount? You can. I know it takes a little bit of time to text and to, oh, here we got, oh, hold on, I'm going to come to that. So now we're at the most fun part of the night. Oh, no, we're not. We're at $250. I'm skipping ahead of myself here. At $250, we've got Ann Blomberg at $250. We've got Joanne Blasenheim at $250. Holy moly, you guys, it's rolling in here at $250. Joe and Molly Conti. We've got Jonathan and Virginia Shames. Wow. Lisa Gottschalk. Michelle Cleary. All right. Michelle Cleary, you are awesome. Senator Steve Santersero. Yeah. There we go. And we've got Richard Rosenberger. Yeah. Excellent. Thank you, Richard. Okay, so now we're going to go down. Anybody else? Oh, I'm sorry. I almost forgot Robert Gish. Bob Gish in at $250. I am. I'm checking my texts. Okay. Yeah, I think I got everybody on my texts. Sorry, you guys. Okay, so we're going to go down to the $100 level. And I want to tell you, friends, what can we do at $100? We can link someone to care. How cool is that? How crucial is that? So get them in with a trained doctor in our network of friends and professionals. We know people all over the world, not just in the United States. Tim, Sherry, Joan, they know everybody. They are amazing. Help them with the resources they need to link people to care for just $100, okay? You know how else we link people? We link them to all kinds of patient tools, resources, clinical trials, research opportunities, you name it, we link it, okay? So let's get to the $100 level. Oh, wait, I skipped some miscellaneous ones in between $250 and $100. So we've got Ed Tate, our communications dude at $200. Ed, you're all right. We got Daniel and Jamie Fox and at $150. Live selfies, hepb.org. All right, folks, we are getting down to it here. And you know what we do at the end here after 100? Now we just do a free-for-all. It's a free-for-all, Oliver. Anybody can give it. You know, you got $5, $7, $13.50, whatever you want to give. It's all good. It all counts. Oh, I'm sorry. We've got Helene and Manny Bachman at 100. Woo! Yeah. Sherry's parents. Yeah, that's great. Okay, so whatever you want to give. And hey, I know that it's been a pretty hard year for a lot of us. I understand that. So if you can't give, that's okay. I think I said it before. It's okay. Those of us that will give, we do, right? Oliver can give. I haven't seen you give anything tonight, Oliver. Shh. I'm gonna put you down for $1,000, okay? Hey, I know it's all good. So if you can't give tonight, that's quite all right. But any other amounts that want to come in right now? Okay, so we've got Jingye Zhu at $50. Yeah. We've got Dave Gruber. All right. We've got Nicole Janssens. We've got Philip and Philippa Wharton. Oh, there's more. There's more. We've got Sandra Paleja. We've got Michael and Barbara Miles. All right. Very nice, you guys. Okay. So you know what else we do, Oliver? We stand up for people living with hepatitis in Washington, D.C. and in state capitals. We work on Hep B elimination plans with other public health officials and legislators. So, you know, I want to make sure that we give everybody an opportunity to give. Oh, we've got Heather Fitcher at $50. And, you know, if you want to keep on giving, what I'm going to do right now is we're going to look at the thermometer and see where we are. Can you read that, Oliver? I can't. Ed, where are we?
127,471.
127,471. I think that's a low ball. I think we're above that. I think we're closer to 140. Yeah, yeah. I think we're closer to 140. But we're gonna come back and see if anyone else gives in the meantime. We'll come back at the very end. But right now, I want to give a big shout out and thank you to our sponsors. You know, we couldn't make this night a success without our sponsors. We have presenting sponsors, Gilead Sciences and Dynavax Technologies, and we have platinum sponsors, Daiichi Sankyo, Worth & Company, and Arbutus Biopharma. And now we are going to hear from one of our presenting sponsors, Vivian Wong, Regional Medical Director at Dynavax Technologies, a partner that's been with us for almost 10 years.
Hi there, everybody. My name is Dr. Vivian Huang. I'm really honored today to be representing Dynavax. For the 9th year in a row, Dynavax is a proud sponsor of this gala. This past year has reinforced the fact that vaccines are one of the greatest public health interventions. I'm so proud to be part of Dynavax, whose mission focuses on innovative vaccines that prevent infectious diseases. The introduction of vaccines over 40 years ago has led to great progress in reducing the burden of hepatitis B disease. An ounce of prevention is indeed worth a pound of cure. However, cases remain and are on the rise. We need to ensure that every adult who's vulnerable to hepatitis B is aware of and has access to the vaccine. This is a critical year for hepatitis B prevention. The Advisory Committee on Immunization Practices of the CDC is considering an expansion of the current recommendations to make them universal. This will be a tremendous opportunity to advance our common goal of hepatitis B prevention. If it occurs, Dynavax hopes to work with all of you on making this recommendation a reality. We believe that a universal recommendation is the best way for us to meet our goal of eliminating hepatitis B. Have a wonderful time at the gala tonight and keep up the great work. Thank you.
God bless you.
You guys are live.
Right now. Okay, here we go. Okay, I want to give a couple more shout outs to some additional gifts that have come in the last few minutes. Sherry and Ralph Ventureselli at $50. Mark Piercy at $50. Kathleen Pierce at $25. Lindsay Wallstrom Edwards at $30. Nice. Leo Zhang, $1,000. Hey. Okay, that's great, you guys. So we are going to close it up here. I want to remind you all that you can still buy raffle items, raffles for the Apple AirPods. And that will close out tomorrow at noon, the same time that the auction closes out. You can also still give in all the same ways that I mentioned before, whether it's texting or on the website. And of course, our online auction is going crazy. If you went in on that, please hop on now. Again, that's open till tomorrow at noon Eastern Standard Time, okay? They will be open, I just said that. So again, go to the hepb.gala.org site and click at the top where it says auction, and you can get in on that. All right, you guys, this is it. Thank you so much. Cheers.
Cheers.
And I think Tim wants to say a few words. Oh, and Beatrice.
Beatrice Ovich, thank you so
Yeah,
much.
Thank you very much. I did want to say something. I wanted to thank everyone for helping us celebrate tonight. Our great birthday party. Thanks for making it such a great party. Of course, I want to thank all those who've supported us, everyone here at the Foundation, at the Blumberg Institute, and our Biotech Center. And I wanted to thank all the awardees for all the work they've done. And I also wanted to encourage you to take a look at the program book, which covers a lot of what I just said and has in it some really nice congratulatory messages and citations from our legislators, our electeds. Congressman Brian Fitzpatrick, Senator Steve Santisaro, Representative Shelby Labs, and Governor Tom Wolf at the front. So thank you all very much for making this really a terrific evening. We've got done a great amount. I'm very proud of what we've all been able to do. There's a lot more to come. And so with that, until next year, things are really looking up. Cheers.
All right, cheers.
Happy 30th.
Happy 30th.
I wish I was 30.